Well, hi everyone, welcome along. It's another little day out on the bike today. I've got a few jobs that I need to do. And those jobs include going to, first of all, to the car dealership to take in my V5 logbook to for the trading vehicle that I had a private registration on, and so I've got the new logbook back. I've got to take that in there first. Then I'm taking the bike into Bradford Motorcycles, not Bradford Motorcycles, Graham's Motorcycles in Bradford, to have a checkover, make sure it's all in good order. And then I've got some new tyres being fitted at 3:30, so it is now 11:15 in the morning on a Friday, and so I've got plenty of time to do all this stuff. But it's just a case now of sort of working through the chores of the day. Bring the screen down. So what I've got here is a couple of things that are different, and whenever you change anything around, you always kind of think, is it going to work, isn't it going to work? You assume it will, and then when you start doing it, you realise, right, it's not quite as good as it should be. So first of all, I bought a brand new helmet after saying last time that I wasn't going to buy a brand new helmet. I bought the Chores C5 in Eclipse Red, which, if I remember, I don't know if you can see it in a mirror, but if I remember to show you, I will do that. And then I had to put the camera mount on for the DJI Action 3 camera, and I put it on the opposite side thinking, oh, that'd be a good idea, why don't I put it to the right hand side, realizing once again that I really do need to just go out and get one of those, if I can, for this particular helmet, one of those sort of purpose created chin mounts rather than this weird arrangement, for a couple of reasons. One is it catches on my shoulder when I'm doing a right shoulder check, which isn't good, and two, it just feels a bit sort of unwieldy. Now, in addition, because I've been using the what is it called, DJI wireless Go mic, I think they're called, for the last week or two, given up all the issues I had with trying to use wired mics directly into the GoPro, I got the DJI wireless mic, and it just sits in the chin area, and then a little box connects into the side of the DJI 3 camera, and it in theory makes it pretty easy, because you just have one of the two mics you get in the mic kit from DJI, if you buy the mic kit with two mics in it, set to all the levels you need, and then the other one you can have set to like a higher level, because with the mic being literally right in front of my chin, you hear all of, look at the state of that road there, you hear all of the levels, very, very close mic contact, and if you have it too high you get a lot of clipping. So there's not as quite, it doesn't feel, I mean, it's a new helmet, so of course it's probably going to be tighter, but there's not a lot of room in the chin area available for this little mic box to sit in. Now, of course, you can put lapel mics in, direct those down, and wear the mic box somewhere else, which I could try and do that, but then again, am I getting back into the possibility of not having the right lapel mic, because last time I think that was part of the issue, so kind of want to avoid, having spent the cash on all this stuff, want to avoid having potential mic issues. So got to look into that. How can I make some more space in the chin area? I also, with this Chores helmet, bought the comms kit as well, so all told it was sort of like best part of 900 quid by the time I bought the helmet and the comms kit that goes in it, but that allows me to connect to the GPS so that I can hear the GPS prompts. If somebody calls me, I can take a phone call, or I can make a phone call, and I can listen to music, etc. And I think there's some way in this of also listening to the radio, but I haven't it's not something that I'd thought about doing. So I've got a bit of a new setup that I'm just getting used to, and there are some quirks as well with the wireless mic, because you plug the box into the side, and what that does is it transmits the signal or receives the signal from the transmitter that's now in the sort of chin area of the helmet. But you can, with it being a USB-C connection, you can plug it in either way, so it can sort of face forward or face backwards. They haven't made the shape of it, so it just sort of neatly like clips onto that camera as a module, because they're selling it for all sorts of different applications, not just for this camera. And previously I had it so it was sort of pointing backwards, and that was fine on the left hand side of the helmet. Now I've got it on the right hand side of the helmet. Of course, having it pointing backwards doesn't go out to the side, it comes onto the chin area of the helmet. So need to get properly sorted out with a better mounting position, because for all I know this might not even be working now, because it didn't go in quite as flush and level as it was doing on the left hand side where I was having it pointing backwards. So as I say, today it's a 3-step thing. First of all, I've got to get down to Wakefield in West Yorkshire to hand in this V5 logbook for my old car. I then have to drive up to Bradford to get the bike. Bit of a mini kind of checkover. It had a service back in March, it's running perfectly well. I just want to get things checked, like the brake fluid, possibly get the rear drive oil changed if that needs changing. You know, just one or two little jobs like that might need doing. And what else? Oh, and the new tyres. So this time, last time when I had the older 1150RT a couple of weeks back, and I got brand new tyres on that, and I went for those Metzler Roadtech 01 SEs, I think they're called, and they were okay. They were pretty good. I mean, I didn't really, let's be honest, given I within a day or two then immediately went and bought this bike, didn't really get any chance to test them, I just ran them in. But they seem to be okay. I mean, these tyres, these Bridgestone tyres, seem to be perfectly okay in the dry, and maybe, you know, they're not too bad in the wet, but I didn't feel quite as confident. When I went over a metal grate, it slipped out about sort of 9 inches, and when I went over the little metal studs in the road, the cat's eye studs and so on, it was very slippy. Now it could be that is the case on the new tyres I'm getting, but I am this time going to go for the ones I wanted to go for last time, but they didn't have in stock. So this time I've got them to make sure they've got them in stock. So they are the Pirelli Angel GT2s, I think they're called. That never had those particular tyres before, so I'm not sure what they're going to be like. I'll do a bit of a mention on here and check them out and see how they go. But what's going on here? Car just seems to be stuck in the middle of the road for some reason. But on the Ducati Multistrada 1260S and on the Ducati Hypermotard SP, I had different variants of Pirelli tyres, and on both of those bikes, in my experience, I think there were the Trail 2 Scorpions, I think, on the Multistrada, and the Diablo Rossos on the Hypermotard SP. Both instances were, in my view, fantastic. They were really grippy tyres, could really lean the bike over with confidence. Never had an issue with them. Can't remember what they were like in the wet, if I'm honest. Maybe the Diablos weren't quite as good in the wet, but I've sort of forgotten a little bit. But let's get these on later today. We'll see what they're like, and hopefully they'll be good. Weather today is kind of a little bit sort of like, well, a little bit, it's fully overcast. Temperatures at the minute, for some reason I'm not getting a reading on my front tyre. I wonder if the battery and the sensor's gone or something. Unusual. just down there, I don't know if you can see it with the phone beam there, but it shows the tyre pressures just on the bottom of the screen, and I'm showing 3 bars in the rear tyre. It's supposed to be 2.9 and it's supposed to be 2.5 I think in the front from memory, and the minute we're not getting a reading on the front one. I mean, I can't feel anything wrong with it, as in it seems to be, feels good on the road. I can't feel any issues. It doesn't feel flat or anything. So I don't know whether sometimes those sensors don't make contact, or whether the battery's flat, or whether it needs the sensor replacing. Of course that'll be probably, you know, 150 quid of a job or something. All this technology is really good on bikes, and then if you get one that's second hand and it's done a few miles, this has only done 21,000 miles, but and for a BMW that's nothing, but things like anything with a battery in it, that can go flat in a few years. Anything that is really kind of in the electronics space can always be vulnerable to go first before any of the mechanical things do on a bike. And of course, the newer these bikes are, the more complex the technology is that they put on them, the more you've got, in theory, the chance of those things over time failing, which kind of makes you think that, you know, how many of the new bikes will still be around in 20 years' time? Of course, I got the old R1200RT. That had a fair bit of newer technology on it when it was made. That's still around, but it's kind of only just around. I mean, all the ABS system had been removed on it because of presumably ABS faults. So just put that screen up a bit in case there's any wind noise coming onto the mic. I don't know if there is or there isn't. Hope the camera position is right, because again I've changed everything over. Right, so we'll leave this here and I'll pick up, or I'll leave it running and just speed it up. Kind of do need to get a spare battery for this this camera too, because I tend to go through seems to be going through a battery in about an hour and a half. Oh, yeah, sure. It's not Pirelli road. Or it's not.